What's up, everybody? Welcome back. It's been far too long. I really don't have a good excuse on the 11 or 12-day absence. Part of it was I lost an interview I did with Lucky Jack and Chris Ebbs, and that kind of was discouraging me a little bit, trying to get those videos back from the cloud software that I use, that also doubles as my recording software. So no luck yet, but still trying to figure that out. And then, we had a death in the family, so I took a week vacation last week, and we traveled for that. And while I was on my trip, I was trying not to do anything Zed Run related. I did talk to a few of you guys, one on one. I was kind of active on Twitter, but not my normal activity level. And I just kind of really wanted to think about what it is I'm trying to accomplish here, right? Because, as much as I enjoy Zed, the idea of Hero Krapht is a little bit bigger than a digital horse racing game. And then trying to figure out, too, how to, balance that, giving the people who've been here from the beginning because of Zed Run, the type of content that they want, and continuing to provide that for the community without making things a little bit too polluted by other things that are maybe slightly more important to the overarching goals that I have here. So I'm just really trying to balance that. It was nice to take some time away, but we're not going to be doing, any crazy deep dives today. Just wanted to catch up with everybody, kind of show everybody what I've been up to stable wise, and kind of what's going to be some immediate moves here in the future. But yeah, so lots of new horses. We're up to 29. We got a lot of the ones we're not overly excited about running listed. And yeah, so some notable ones. We'll do that on Know Your Horse. It's a little bit faster there. Yeah, so one thing that everybody did miss, if you don't follow me on Twitter, was Day on the Green, our fairy dancer baby. She actually won a tournament race, which pushed her to profitable. It was a Group A quarterfinals, so it was about $100 US, which was nice. That also pushed us as a stable to profitability for the month of February. And I want to get a couple more paids in if the races are right. Haven't had a whole lot of success the last couple days. But yeah, so being up 0.03 for the month isn't a lot, especially when you run over 2,000 races, primarily freeze. This was the big spike from the tournament beginning of the month. Won $10 here. But why it's important for me is if we go to our overall profit and loss, right? It took us a little while to get our first win. And it took us even longer to actually start making money racing. And then we had stamina changes. The tools come out. And we started losing a lot of money. Then tournaments came out. And we spent 0.1-ish to down class 3 horses from class 3 to class 5. Back when you could no longer use freeze. And then we kept on downsliding from there, just randomly putting horses that used to be profitable into paid racing to see what would happen. And just kept sliding down the profitability and losses, right? So one thing that we decided to do not too long ago, it was after New Year's, after talking to some way more experienced stables than myself, especially in the racing realm, to make the decision if we are going to run horses, that it's time to stop messing around and actually turn a profit, because we've lost, 0.03 or point 0.3 racing, and that's a Genesis and a half. And as much fun as it is to experiment and play around with the tournaments, I believe free races is probably a strong enough environment if you're catching strong fields to experiment with light experimentation into paid. You don't have to lose 100 paid races in a row with horses that aren't that strong anymore. Like it's fairly quickly if you have something or not. I believe in these environments. So we bought a couple racers, nothing too strong, but the price was right. Won a little bit of money, sold one, sitting on the other one currently. So progress. That's all we're talking about here is just a little bit of progress, and try to hold that. What else? So some fun things. We found some distance preference and two of our horses. So Rabbit Hunter was a really cheap Z5 NAC exclusive. I don't think the grandparents were anything special here, right? Yeah, nothing too crazy on the grandparents' side of things. I'll concentrate. That's right. So Rabbit Hunter's cousin to Diamonds. Wow, I can't talk. So that was exciting. I kind of want to get that blood in there just in case it was fun or interesting. Or I think in the long term, having horses from famous horses or parents of famous horses is going to matter. So I've kind of structured the stable in that way, right? But if we go to the drill down, 2400. Found a little bit of success. Definitely a high flamer. So being of the marathon funnel, we're pretty excited to see what she can do from breeding after the breeding update. And then Outspoken, let's close these out to make it simpler. So Outspoken was from a breed deal I did with Lucky Stars, who has that crazy partnership with Crazy Cat, and they are just killing it. You may have heard of their not their best horse, but their most famous horse, I believe. Super Variant, the Z28, that just wins tournament money. Horse is a lot of fun. But if we go to Outspoken here, also found some distance preference, and I thought Outspoken was a donkey. Hasn't been able to perform in paid, but been super lightly raced in paid. And has found some distance preference, though. So if they change the formatting of tournaments, or if there's like a 1,000 meter specialist tournament, it might not do well, against other 1,000 meter specialists, but I'm looking forward to see what can happen, especially because this is a 3-blood breed. We don't know if that means anything, but I like being prepared just in case. So yeah, it's a fun horse. I enjoy running it. Currently working its way down to class 6. I'm actually trying to tank everything that can actually qualify for tournaments on a regular basis to 6, either for a good tournament run up and I don't have to keep downclassing every single week, or playing in paid and seeing what happens. Yeah, so there's not really a whole lot going on. We just bred this horse, Fence Post. It flamed and won this race in Discovery, which is Discovery race. It's nothing too crazy. Pretty weak field for the most part, but I was able to beat some single digit Z's, which is always fun with a Z20 something or another in Discovery, right? But yeah, so there's not really a whole lot. So one of the things that I've been doing that most people know, this is not my stable, is if we go to horses, we've been trying to stack up on, this doesn't even really show them all, damn it. Can we do it here? We've been trying to stack up on neck blood. So we have our mares. Blockchain Builder, or no, it was already named. Shit, no, Bing Bong. Bing Bong was already named, unraced, unbred. And bought it for the floor of, that was like 0.015 more than raced at that time. But we've been trying to stack up on blood, right? So we got Blockchain Builder, who's probably one of the horses I'm most excited to breed post-breeding update. Because we got Van Dixon on one side, which Van Dixon is Z1 Genesis that gets bred a lot. It's one of Desi Dreams' horses. What the hell are we doing here? Jesus Christ. But we got Grand Desire, and Grand Desire is Grandor and Kama Sutra. Kama Sutra is Third Head and Purple Rain. So if the breeding algorithm update does anything like we're supposed to do, I have two of the best distance horses bred into Blockchain Builder there. Let's actually do this from here. So Grand Fortune. Grand Fortune, most of you know, because I talked about her when I originally got her. Mean Machine and Can Somebody Please, which is nothing too crazy on the Sky Blue side, but Heavenly Secret comes from Billions and Pearly Gates, which Pearly Gates isn't anything too crazy, but that Billions baby. Now we're also able to get a deal with with Nakamoto's Only. Oh, where'd you go? For Interceptor. So Interceptor, let's do it this way. I know this is super slow, I apologize. Out of practice. So, fun thing about Interceptor here is Nakamoto's Only has been acquiring Billions legendaries and doing custom breeds with his mares. So I definitely highly recommend doing business with Nakamoto's Only. And the prices are ridiculous. I won't tell the price right now because as things change and as breeding decay happens, which we'll talk about in the next video, prices should go up. But one of the things here is we got Billions again. So now I have a colt and a mare off of Billions in the Nakamoto. And then Awakened one, which is P.S. I Don't Love You, and Alakazam. Alakazam is one of Lucky Jack's horses that he had to trade/sell to acquire the final Cadet Blue Nakamoto. So this is kind of a historic horse. And the cool thing now, too, is Alakazam is owned by my good friend over at Blockchain Bloodline. So if inbreeding is something interesting, I'm in a pretty good position to do that, having multiple Billions children or grandchildren or great-grandchildren, and then knowing the owner pretty well of Alakazam there. I'm pretty excited about that. Can't tell by my face, but I'm excited about that. Yeah, so we got the 4 Knacks in the stable now. Interceptor will likely move over to the stud barn if anybody's going to be interested in using it. I know, exclusive Nakamotos aren't too sexy right now. And when the breeding update does happen and breeding decay is in effect, it's not something that's going to get put in stud barn every single month likely. Just because I don't want to use up all the breeds right away. What else do we have? So, yeah, bred a whole lot of junk, which, is pretty standard. This is a newborn here off of Fusion. That's not really that important. But, yeah, so that's that for those. Quickly, I wanted to go over stud program, right? So versus Red Room's been kicking off well. It has been a little bit slow due to everybody waiting for the changes, and of course in the family racing being on time out because he's won too many horses in a row. But we still do have 2 Genesis, a legendary Buterin, and a legendary Finny. For anybody interested in getting in on February's February's giveaway. So for February's giveaway, we're going to be giving this horse here away. So it's Evergreen Gates and Grand Fortune. Grand Fortune, that Billions grandchild that I have that also produced Headhunter. And a couple other pretty decent free racers. You know, nothing too crazy outside of Headhunter to write home about. But it's one of my favorite horses to breed. Just because I have a little crush on Billions. But Little Ollie, it's not part of the public stud program yet. I don't know if he's going to be, honestly. So he's probably actually going to get moved out of the stable, except for when it's being bred. Perfect Hunter will be a part of the stud program. Exclusive Finney, you know, nothing too crazy, too exciting. But I am trying to fill out the stable with as many different kinds of horses. You know, I don't expect everybody to take a cover, especially from, you know, like an exclusive Finney, right? Who knows what's going to happen with that? But what I am trying to do is acquire horses or breed horses with interesting parents, different distance preferences, different price points, because everything's always going to be listed at minimum in the red room, and just a diverse set of horses for people who have different ideas or want to try different experiments. So, you know, if you have anything that you're really looking to get, please reach out. I'm hoping to add another Finney Genesis to the stable by May, end of, you know, mid-April. We're currently in the middle of so many breed deals, though. It's kind of got me locked down for a little while. But there was just some horses I wanted to acquire before the breeding update happened, and kind of lock in breeding rights post update. So as I acquire those horses, I'll let everybody know kind of what was going on. You know, Hustle Up was part of a deal I did with Crimson Racing, Perfect Hunter, and Perfect Fortune, also from that breed deal. Outspoken Truth was a breed deal that I did with Lucky Stars, Nakamoto's Only, hooking me up with the great deal on Interceptor. Smoke, that was a breed deal I did with Jay. So, you know, a lot of the bred horses come in from reaching out to people and trying to acquire breeding rights, you know, for a short window, and breeding me some horses, you know, and a lot of those haven't really panned out too much, which necessarily was the expectation, just because breeding's been random up to this point, right? The real big, most recent Zed announcement has been the contract upgrade. You know, the prepping skins, I think in the short term that's all they're going to do, but knowing some of the conversations that I've seen in the Discord, you know, my conversation with Ebbs, and kind of just watching how VHS moves, I think not only the contract upgrade is that going to allow for the skins, but the functionality of being able to take an NFT, temporarily merge it to an NFT, and then remove it. To me, that sounds like you might be able to move your horses going forward. You know, they're talking about doing some sort of horse renting or horse manager. That probably had to be part of that, right? So now you can essentially move the NFT horse from one wallet to another, or somehow, you know, use that program without giving up full ownership of it. And I think we're going to see that that's part of the upgrade. I also know that there's been a big partnership with Zed and Wilder World that didn't get talked a lot about, and there's not a lot of details that have been disclosed. But based on what I've seen with Wilder World building things out, I would expect that maybe that's where the first racetrack will be built, that you'll be able to go to in VR and sit and watch. And because Zed has been hinting towards some sort of marketing, kind of using different play to earn hashtags in their posts, and they've kind of with the NASCAR event that they did was super exciting. I really enjoyed that NASCAR event, even though I didn't have a Fast and the Force to qualify. But having an event where it's 100% based on times and every single race distance had a winner, I think that was huge. It shows that they're thinking of fun ways to create more utility within racing. And I know racing right now is tough, right? Like, it's just daily tournaments, daily grinding, paid racing stuck because the discovery process is broken. But part of discovery, it wasn't meant for us to run our horses that we know very well. So you can either end up in class 1 or you can tank the shit out of your horse. But I think it's going to be great for new horses and griffins when most of the pre-raced monsters are out of the way. It's never fun running your Z28 Elite against a Z2 Legendary that has 100 wins on it already, right? Not a lot of fun way to go. But I do think it's going to work long term. Likely we'll probably see some sort of cap on it to where you can't end up in class 1, or it's almost impossible to end up in class 1. I think that's probably going to be what's best. We do know that they're talking about incentivizing the class 1 through seasons, but one thing that I think was missed with seasons, and I'm getting a little long-winded here, so I'll recap this in another video, but in the original 2022 roadmap announcement, seasons were going to be controlled by Z passes, and if you didn't have a Z pass, you weren't going to be able to participate in the season. So those are probably going to be coming very soon. If it's something that you're intending on running in, I definitely would think about acquiring a Z pass, especially if you're a serious racer. Just because there was a lot of hype between horse renting, there's a lot of hype about burning, there's a lot of anger about the Genesis horses not being released, and I think people overlooked some of the subtle details in the roadmap, and we'll kind of go back through and highlight those over the next couple weeks. March is going to be Creators Month, where I'm going to be interviewing as many content creators and tool creators as possible. So if you know somebody who is a content creator and who either is not getting enough love or you'd love to hear their story, reach out to them, tell them to get on the show. Reach out to me, tell me to harass them about getting on the show, and tag the shit out of them on Twitter about getting onto the show, because social pressure works, peer pressure works. And I'm really looking forward to being able to highlight some of the best of what they do in Zed Run, because I don't stream except for the horse giveaways, so that'll be going on tomorrow. I don't make tools, so being able to get Krapht from Haku on. There's another new tool that's been kind of running rampant that I can't wait to interview the owners of. But yeah, another thing too that we've kind of been discussing in the stable is shutting down racing completely. I might be allowing people to run my easy qualifiers for me, but if I'm spending 2 hours a day running horses and free races that are specialists at the end, right? They're better at 16 or at 1600, 1000, and 2600, and the tournaments are locked into the 1200, the 18, and the 24 format. Like 2 hours a day, spread out over 30 days or even 25 if I take a couple off. That's significant hours, and those hours I could spend researching horses, looking for racers that can actually win at those distances. I can use that to smooth out my content creation and deal with all the headaches that have come with the lack of processing power and video rendering that I've been struggling with. So there's other things I can utilize my time to be better at Zed other than grinding races. Even though that $100 was pretty sweet, it was able to get me, through another breed cycle on a couple horses. It's I don't think it's worth 40 hours a month of my time right now. 40 hours a month, I could go get a damn part-time job and buy me another Jenny, right? So I'm just kind of looking to utilize my time more effectively going forward over the next couple months. Now, there is going to be some big announcements coming for the Red Room. I'm really, really pushing to build out that program. Like we said, we want 100 horses in here, 100 studs available by the end of the year. That is still my goal. I'm aggressively pushing towards that goal. This is not the right stable, though. Gotta love when Zed Run doesn't give you the right horses in the stable, right? So, yeah, so Little Ollie's not going to be a part of that. Perfect Hunter will be. And I'm not seeing my newborns in here. Interesting. But yeah. So, getting a little distracted here. Oh yeah, so the giveaways. So we talked about for the month. This is for the lifetime. So we got Bing Bong and Viking Zeppelin. Cool thing about Viking Zeppelin has bred some really good horses. We worked out some of the Peninsula Park. Took all 3 breeds off him this month on this horse. Why? Well, it has been able to produce some decent horses. Scrolling through here, the primary thing I'm looking for is profitability, and then I'll check to see how many races they've run. But one of the big ones and one of the most famous ones most people are gonna know is Koi Princess. So obviously, we didn't breed it with another legendary. We didn't breed it with that legendary, or we didn't breed it with that Finny Genesis. But Koi Princess is pretty damn good. It's a fun horse. But yeah, it just has a history of producing horses that can make money. So I was excited to breed with it. And we have 3 newborns off of it. One of it's going to be for personal use, which is the legendary Buterin that I just bred. We're giving away this one, the Dark Byzantine one, for lifetime users. Right here, which is off Bing Bong. But then this one here is also going to be given away. Right off Killjoy, my legendary Zabo mare. So this is going to be part of the giveaway for next month. I don't know if it's going to be the monthly or if it's going to be the lifetimers, but we're going to get another Viking Zeppelin baby in the giveaway, just because this is pre-update. Chances are good that it can produce some sort of Ethereum. So, you buy a stud cover, you get your baby foal, win a free horse, maybe you can make some money, maybe you sell it. You do what you want to do with it. It's your horse to do what you want. But yeah, there's going to be some changes coming to the stud barn for the better. Make it a little bit more dynamic. We'll announce those as it happens, though. But yeah, I just wanted to be present. Just want to hang out with everybody. A lot of really big things coming up. I hate to sound like the Zed team. It's coming soon. But want to make another video. Wanted to share with everybody. And yeah, I've kind of missed this. But I'm gonna wrap this up before I talk about absolutely nothing. And yeah, look for everything else that's gonna be happening soon. Soon. I said soon.